That was so loud.
Oh, let me do it for the camera.
Listen. Oh my god. Anyway, hey everybody, hope everyone's doing well. Welcome back to Van Philosophy for a kind of a special episode.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. Our good man Steve suggested that we do this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to talk about the Illuminaughty record, the songs, how we wrote them.
Yeah, and
all
like
that kind of
recording them and stuff.
You know.
Yeah.
But what's up, Rachel? What's up, Steve? What's up, Sherry? Hope you guys are doing well. Before we get into the topic, though, what have you been up to? I mean, have you even been doing anything?
Yeah.
No, so Kyle hasn't been doing anything, and like, I'm just kidding. I've been trying real hard. I'm so sorry.
Well, yeah, we've been off a week from this. So we put out the Patreon cover. And we took requests for the next one. So I started working on my tracks for that, and I got to a good spot, and I presented them to you, and so let's kind of do that. But also,
I put them in the trash.
You just threw them in the trash.
Yeah.
You just re-record them.
Yeah.
Just all the parts.
I got it.
It's not on the site yet, but we do have 2 festivals that we're playing. So I was working on getting those together. And they both seem cool. We should be announcing next week-ish.
One of them's this month.
One of them's at the end of the month. So I'm just getting all of like the final details on it. But both festivals are confirmed for this fall. So check.
Is the one this month like an actual festival, or is it more like a?
Well, it's it's called the Big Red Apple Festival, and there's like things that are associated with it.
They celebrate all big red apples.
Well, I'm guessing it's like, it's like fall's coming, and it seems like it's been such a long summer. And but the cool weather's coming.
Honestly, at the same time, it feels
apples
like
are coming.
Hasn't been that long at all. I feel like it just went.
Well, isn't it weird how it's like it seems like a season will go by really slow, but the year goes by really fast.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how I feel. I'm like, oh, the year's half done already.
Yeah, it's kind of
it's way more than half done.
Yeah.
So, but like fall's coming, and I'm excited about that. And we got some festivals coming in.
So let's go to this. So what you've been up to is you did those songs a couple weeks ago, and then you did the fall festival thing. Kyle, you need to tell us about the Book of Enoch, and let's make this whole thing like last for like 12 hours.
Oh yeah, no, I've been reading like the Book of Enoch, which is like it's a really old book that is not included in most religious texts, but it parallels a lot of religious texts.
Yeah.
And
Le Bible.
I could talk about it forever, but it's such a good book, and it's really old, and it has like lots of cultures have held on to that book and thought it was important to hold on to. So like the Greeks got it and were like, this is a great book, let's put it in our library. And then the Ethiopians were like, hey, stuff's going down in Greece, we need to make sure we save that book.
Right.
And then the Romans were like, it's a good book, but we're not going to put it in our book, but we'll have it over here. And so it's a really cool book. Yeah. So yeah, I was nerding out about that today.
Dude, it was intense. I couldn't even think. It was just like,
what? I was like, have you read the Book of Enoch?
Oh my god,
it's a crazy book.
My anxiety just went like, oh my god, dude, slow down.
What have you been up to?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Just whatever. So let's get in the topic.
Oh, come on. You're always like, you haven't been doing anything. And then you're like, no, I've literally been doing nothing.
I've been doing stuff at the store. We got a big event coming up this weekend. So we've got the pre-release for the new Magic set that's coming out. And we're doing the pre-release on Friday, which is tomorrow. And then we're doing the Jumpstart event on Saturday. And then also offering some drafts and stuff. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm really tired today. Today's my day off, so I've been trying to do that. But I had to go up there to hang a TV in the D&D room today. So. But that's going to be cool. It's just like a screen that shows like, not ads, but kind of ads. Like letting people know when the events are coming up.
When I walk in there next week, it's going to be like on the floor.
Yeah, it's broken.
Just in the drywall.
Yeah.
It'll hold for like a day. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, why do we, we have the drywall in all the houses? And it's like, and you could do other stuff where it's like, if something is wrong, it could be easily fixed
paneling,
and it might look cooler too.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe not. I guess it's like you get this blank canvas and then you can make it whatever you want. So I understand like having like, you know, a white drywall. That way you can do whatever you want.
I was excited. I know Comment mentioned it, but I am excited that I was able to finish the video edits and everything, get that up.
And the trailer's out
that
too.
took a little while. Yeah, yep, got the trailer up.
Which that is in the blog this week.
The blog. It's not
and
here in the vlog.
And well, and the trailer's also here on YouTube as well.
It's on YouTube.
So after this, you can go watch the trailer for that. And if you want to see the whole thing, you can join Patreon. And you can watch the whole
Steve,
video.
what do you scored me a copy of the Satanic Verses? Hope it doesn't get me stabbed.
Oh, Salman Rushdie. Yeah, he. This was like, was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
I don't know.
He got stabbed at like one of his speeches because he's like a free thinker kind of a thing, and wrote a book called The Satanic Verses.
Oh, like somebody that just didn't agree with them. They're like, I don't agree.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, your ideas are scary.
That's bizarre.
Like, yeah.
But that's pretty much what I've been up to. I've been doing that, and being tired today. I don't know. My brain's kind of cheesy, if I'm being quite honest. So I'm trying to pull it together so I can remember these stories. But I was talking to a friend earlier. Like, I don't even remember most of these songs. I mean, I remember them, but I don't.
Could you play them?
I think I could play them. I would be scared out of my mind to play some of them.
Some of these I would be scared out of my mind to play.
But
live,
I think I would get it because muscle memory. Because we played them for like years.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I haven't listened to the record myself for a while. Also, be sure to let us know in the comments how the video is looking. We changed some settings and make sure that you can hear everything. So like when we start doing the music and everything, make sure you let us know if the music needs to come up, come down. If you can hear everything, if it looks good.
Well, and it is going to be like a little bit in the background because we're going to talk over it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm like, shut up! I just want to listen to the music.
No, just shut up. But I know, like we talked about this, last time we were here. But I wanted to mention it again. A brand new T-shirt is available over there on storefrontier.com/Roshambeaux. Man, I'm really pumped about this shirt. I've got to get me one.
I gotta get me one too.
I keep forgetting to order one, and I'm not going to. I need to order it and do it.
Oh, and also,
it doesn't say Roshambeaux on it, so I don't feel weird.
Well, we're talking about apparel. We still have tank tops in, but they're gonna go away in a couple weeks.
Yeah, what? A couple weeks? I think they'd probably be gone like tomorrow.
Maybe.
Tomorrow, the next day, you better get on it.
Yeah, you better get them because they're gonna go away. But then we'll bring in like some other fall type options for y'all.
All right. So stop babbling like we do. So Illuminaughty. It came out what year, Kyle?
God, I don't know.
Oh, what? Where's your research paper?
I don't know. I didn't do. I was like, I have to research like the stuff that I did.
Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
I want to say it was like 12 or 13.
Here we go.
Maybe 14. I'm gonna say 13, but I'm not sure.
All right.
What year did it come out?
This is fun that we have to go find this stuff. Came out in 2013.
13. Okay, cool.
Got it here. Wolfbones did the artwork for us. I don't even remember. I think we were just saying Illuminati like it was funny, like it was like a joke.
Well, I remember like that was the time when like everyone was talking about the Illuminati.
Yeah.
And like I don't know when the Da Vinci Code came out, like probably 10 years before that.
Right.
But like all of like I remember like people were still talking. Maybe like the movie. I know the movie came out later. I remember it was just like a big thing where like everyone was afraid of the Illuminati, and we're like the Illuminati.
Yeah.
And like it was just funny to us.
And there it is.
And yeah, there wasn't much of a story behind the title.
So that would make it how many years old, Kyle? 7, 8, 9.
About 11.
9.
9. I can't math.
You can't math?
Yeah.
9. It'd be 9. So 9 years old. What?
I know.
What?
Well,
that's
we
weird.
get to kind of like go back, and I don't know about you, like a lot of times when I hear stuff that we did or when I'm performing it, I go back to like where we were when we were writing it. Like a lot of times I'll see the notebook I was writing and stuff like that.
I'll go back to like the instances of us doing like stupid stuff. But we'll get into that here in a little bit. But if you guys have any questions or anything, make sure you leave it in the comments. You have any kind of input or anything, make sure you let us know. We're just going to start walking through them, man. So the first song, track 1, is MF Cannon.
So I remember we were kind of like just starting to tour, and
out of state tour.
Out of state. I remember we were going to Alabama, and Lindsay came along with us.
Yeah.
My friend Lindsay, because she was selling merch for us.
Yeah. Lindsay motherfucking Cannon.
And like she'd be like, I'm Lindsay motherfucking Cannon.
Yeah.
And so I remember we were in the car, and I think we were just kind of like all just bobbing. There wasn't any music playing, but we were all like just bobbing our heads on this beat for some reason.
Yeah.
And
well, because right before that, like we had stopped at the gas station, and there was all these
bros.
The bros.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
And
doing what bros do best.
We were just like talking about like, oh man, they're there with their polo shirts and khaki pants, and they're all flunking out on their daddy's cash.
Right.
And, like we were just like talking, and we're like, oh, that kind of rhyme, that's weird.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, what do you say to those guys? They're like, oh, we're like, hey bro, like everyone calls you bro, and they never met you before. And I was like, back off, ain't you bro? And then I remember Lindsay was like, stop, it's back off, yo.
Yeah.
I ain't your bro.
Yeah.
And we just kind of were like, basically like just writing this song on the drive through Alabama. And so when we hadn't produced, I think she had passed away after we produced it.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, what are we gonna name this song? I Ain't Your Bro or whatever. And you're like, we should name it after Lindsay.
Yeah.
Because she definitely helped write it. So this, song always makes me think of her and writing that song, and it's a fun song.
Well, man, she was so good at selling merch. I'm telling you, there'd be like 3 people in the crowd, and she'd be like, oh yeah, I got like $300 in merch, and you're like,
she's like, I sold 10 t-shirts.
How?
We're like, there's 4 people here. She's like, yeah. She's like, I said your brother needs one too, or whatever.
Right. No, she's professional.
Yeah.
It's insane. But it is funny, like listening back the drum sounds. Mm-hmm. They sound so like weird and bizarre. Cause this is like my hybrid kit.
Well, like everything about this album was hybrid. I feel like I was still using your XXX cab. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, the guitar, like everything is in this like hybrid analog and electronic zone throughout the whole album. I like it because I think it's a good mix of both.
Right.
But yeah, that's
it definitely sounds unique
about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Bizarre.
I remember the bass in it. I wanted like this organ-y sound.
Yeah.
And then we found that sound.
Oh, look, the little thing goes away as soon as the song's over. What?
Oh, that's cool.
All right. So coming up next here, we've got It.
Got
It. Steve asks us every show to play this song for like how long?
Yes. Oh.
And then we stopped playing because like the tracks got weird.
The sample in the beginning is from an old 1950s PSA.
Mm-hmm. So
like back then, the government would issue out these like behavioral things of like, this is how you need to be in American society. And there would be like little things that they put on TV, and they'd hire actors. So they were like, this was one of like, this is what you need to do on a date.
Right.
And it was like just the funniest, ridiculous, probably misogynistic shit.
Oh yeah.
But it was so funny. We're like, we need to like have this like in the song. I remember the da-na-na-na. I remember my kid had this toy. It was like this Fisher Price toy that it looked like a phone, and it would have 1 through 9, and it would say 4. When you hit 4, it would go 4, and it would play 4 notes, and the 4 notes were da-na-na-na. So like you'd hit 1, and it'd go 1, da, 2, da-na, 3, da-na-na, 4, da-na-na-na. And I was like, I remember like walking around the house just like da-na-na-na, like, yeah. And I was like, so like I got like a microphone and like hooked it up to it. And at the time I didn't, like, we weren't thinking about like keyboard really at all yet.
No.
And I had this like really cheap keyboard, and I think it didn't have outs. I think like I had to like get a microphone and like record like all that like that stuff was like this cheap keyboard. And then we ended up like processing it and like putting like an auto on it or something.
Well, even the beat, because it was like we didn't really have a lot of ways of doing like electronic drums the way we wanted to back then. So we had this vision. We always had this vision, and that's the thing that you see with this record is like you see this vision of doing things a certain way, but like we didn't have the tools to do it. So we had to do weird stuff to do it. Like even the drum beat's like a drum machine with me playing the acoustic drums behind it.
Yeah, it was. I remember. I think it was a version of Pro Tools. Like they gave you like stuff to make your own loops, and they'd give you like little samples of things. And I remember that was like from one of those sample packs. And then we're like, I think it was on the prelim, and then we're like, well, you're like, I'll just play that, and we're like, and we'll just put it in there too and stack it.
Right. Well, like it was weird because like we tried to mic up the whole drum kit. We ended up not using all of the mics on it. It was weird.
Oh, so hang on, wait. Oh, that's funny.
Because it's on the end of the song.
The intro for the next song is on the end of that. It's fun, yeah, because we like made this for CD.
Yeah.
And that's kind of funny because you don't produce songs that way now.
Right.
Like we were producing this to be like, you hear these songs in this order.
Right, and then the intro thing and it breaks. So when you skip to the song, it goes to
it just kicks
weird.
in.
Anyway.
But, yeah.
Bizarre.
I was like, oh, it's on autoplay or something.
Steve here says, I love Got It. One thing I really love is hearing Jay airing it out on the background. Say airing it out? The pounding rhythm is contagious. Yeah, the 4 on the floor beat.
Yeah, it feels good.
It makes something happen, especially at like, what's really strange is like once you hit like 120 BPM, that's like the steady rhythm of like your heart when you're moving. Not like when you're like fucking like really going. But like the steady movement
like
of
a good
this,
steady pace.
That's about 120. So like that's why most dance songs you hear.
I think that song is 120 beats per minute.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
It is.
That's why I'm talking about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were like, it's around there.
Yeah. Anyway, this next one here is Stupid Brothers. It kicks in.
And it just kicks in. Doesn't have a weird little intro.
This one's funny because like it's like I think we did like cause we had an album before this that's not available publicly, and there was a lot of the 2-hit, and we were like, what if we did one with the 3-hit? Because what was weird is
1, 2, 3.
To back it up, it was originally submitted because like again the same kind of process we've always had. Like Kyle might have like a little prelim thing, or I'll have a prelim, but this time Kyle had a prelim, and it was almost like a hip hop song.
Yeah, it was very hip hop. Yeah, it was very like I don't think there's any guitars in it. It was just like
but again
synth.
Being limited by what we were able to do, we were like, no, we have to make it this kind of song.
Yeah, and you were like, just play guitar on that.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were in your kitchen, I remember, and like got the guitar out, and I was like, look, we might even pulled up the prelim, and you're like, just play on top of it, see what comes.
Right.
And then we got that little out of it. And we're like, that's a cool riff. So yeah, it turned into like a riff rock song, even though it started out as like this like weird, like chill hip hop kind of song.
Right.
Yeah.
This song does remind me of like us with like those I don't know, what's our code word? We have to come up with some code. You remember the moment with this song? I remember us being in a park.
Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah, we were like, and like, yeah, I remember.
There was
It was back in the Pearl days.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was just a bunch of crazy people.
Yeah.
And we were dating crazy people at the time.
Yeah. Were we even dating? I don't think we were dating. I think we were hanging out.
Yeah, I think it was like that time period where we were like, I don't know, she's crazy.
Yeah.
But I really like her. And she drives me insane.
Yeah. See, Steve says, who is Stupid Brother? It's both of us. Like, I'd say it's Kyle.
I'd say it's Jay. I was like, I wrote this song for you.
Right. So, like, it's that moment in time where, like, we were just being real stupid. Holding on to things, thinking, like, things were, like, a certain thing. But we were really young, man.
Yeah, well...
Again, this is, like, how many years ago? 9.
Yeah. Well, and then writing it was
10,
like
11
years before that. You know, like when the concept of the song was, right, long before the album came out even. And I remember someone telling me like, there's a difference between someone who's stupid and someone who's crazy. Right. And be like, crazy does not learn from their mistakes. Yeah. He's like, it's okay to be stupid. Just learn from it and get out. So that's the sentiment of this song was like, dude, get out. You're being so stupid. Yeah. Like, that person's crazy. They're always going to be that way. You are going to dig yourself a hole if you stay where you are. And, it's good to have songs like that. A lot of people love this song. They're like, oh man, I know that song. I feel that song. Because I think everyone's been there where you're like, no, I got to get out of this situation.
Yeah, but again, if you listen through it, it's that weird thing because like, we're trying to be that rock thing, but there's like this weird element. Like this is the first time the piano was introduced in the background loop.
Because I remember like we were using Pro Tools and Reason. And so we were recording on Pro Tools, but we would try to, because Reason had like cool sounds on it. Yeah. And like at the time, like now it seems like all those DAWs, like it comes with these packages and comes with these instruments and sounds. But at the time, it was like Pro Tools just recorded and Reason just made synthesizer sounds. Right.
And wasn't an actual like digital audio workstation.
Yeah. And so. Yeah, I mean, we had we like put the bass. I remember it was like a lot of the bass would come from Reason, and then we'd have to like.
And it wouldn't necessarily come first either. It'd be like we recorded our parts, then we'd put the bass with it.
And we're like, it needs some low end on it.
Yeah. Like, what do we do? It's so weird. But like that one especially, that one reminds me of like bees buzzing. It was. I'd redo it. All right.
We did that a lot. I had like a buzzy basses.
Yeah. This one's cool because actually on our first record, this song was on it.
Yeah. We did this project called Gaudy Monstrosity, like right when we first met, and it was like, I had a bunch of songs, and I was like, I need help producing them, and this was one of them, and it had like, I think it was from that same Pro Tools set of like beats. And I think we ended up saying like, hey, well, let's like take this song, redo it. Let's like put some stuff from Reason on it. And,
I wanted to redo
reshape it.
Well, I used to I hated the pre-made beats.
Yeah, well, it's like they don't have a lot of soul in them.
You also didn't make them.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I just got this package.
Yeah.
I got this licensed package that I can use.
Yeah. So like I remember like putting this together and it being like our thing.
Yeah, we're like, we made every single thing in this song.
Yeah. But I really again, this is like where it's like we started to see like a lot of the electronic stuff trying. Like this was what this song defined the band early on.
Yeah.
Because
like, this is how we want to sound.
Yeah, because the first record even before this, like nothing.
There wasn't any electronics.
There was nothing like us in it except for this song.
Except this song.
Yeah.
Had like some beats in it.
Right, and it was there was that sexy flair to the lyric. There was like a movement, everything, the guitar solo, everything just felt the way we wanted it to, like the driving beats that are going on. And so we decided to redo it because we wanted this to be our actual first record. Because it was this was the first record Kyle and I both did like complete co-writing on everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Versus the first one where it was a lot of just like Kyle had already like written most of everything and then I just produced the back end of it and make it a rock song and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they were all like acoustic songs.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Right.
I remember we used.
Tell me the nectar kissing. Where did you come up with it? Because I didn't come up with that lyric. Where did you come up with that?
I don't really remember. I remember when I was a kid, we'd always say stuff was nectar because we're like everyone says.
Man, that's so nectar.
We're like everyone says sweet. Everyone says like what's better than sweet? And we're like nectar.
Nectar.
And like I remember that the term nectar kiss. I'm not really sure where that came from. It was just one of those things where you're just like,
yeah,
she's sweet. You know what I mean? Like
makes sense. Victoria over here says definitely one of the faves. Awesome. Steve says, y'all don't give yourselves enough credit for just how incredible Gaudy Monstrosity is.
I mean,
it's a
cool record. It's just, it wasn't the sound.
It wasn't what we wanted.
But but I think it's like, I'll go back and listen to it, and I have good memories.
Yeah.
And I think it sounds good.
Oh yeah. My favorite thing is transition from Like the Morning to Fly Away. But we'll stop talking about it. Maybe we'll come.
Maybe we'll do that one day. I remember we used the Line 6 pod for guitars on this one.
It was hard for us to replicate the delay guitar, the verse guitar live.
Yeah, I remember, and I think because it was like on loan from a friend. They were like, hey, like use this when you're working. And we're like, oh cool, and like got some cool guitar tones out of it.
And every time I hear that gong, it reminds me of, because I had the compilation, you know, back in the day, the compilation CDs you could get, it was Pure Funk. Remember that one? And the gong, it'd be like, get down, get down, get down.
It reminded me of like the Mortal Kombat soundtrack. Like the gong.
Oh, right. All right. Next one, this isn't really a song.
No, so
it's interesting though.
What this was is we would do this thing live from it was just like this beat that Jay had made, and we sampled Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
And we would just have that as like, oh, I need to tune my guitar, and oh, I need to catch my breath. So we would just have this kind of loop playing, and we sampled the scene from Gone with the Wind.
Right.
And we're like, we can't put that on the album because that's like the #1 movie that people get sued for.
Oh yeah.
It's that one and Wizard of Oz.
Well, I'm always pushing for samples, man. I come back from that background of like doing like haunted house soundtracks and doing like old metal stuff where we would just sample horror flicks and stuff. Yeah. And so I know when we're doing it, it's like because even the next record afterwards, I pushed for a sample, and we actually had to figure out ways to clear the copyright for it.
Now it's a lot easier now because when you license your music, you just say, I took this from here, so and this has already been licensed here, and I am not including this in my filing. It's just for artistic expression, and then they let you do it.
Right.
But before that, before like everything was so digital and they could definitely tell where something was from, and you admitted like, hey, I took this from here, and it's okay. But so we were so nervous about putting something from Gone with the Wind, so we just took a public PSA.
Yeah.
And just found one that kind of just had that sentiment that we were looking for, and it's like...
Well, it goes with the whole thing.
It's this like person talking about this person that just like gossips and talks too much and how no one likes them, and it was this behavioral PSA of like, don't be like this. This is how you should behave in society.
Right.
Kind of a thing.
Those things are funny though. Like if you ever just like have some time to waste, go look up like old school PSAs. You'll hear a lot of our samples. But
live, we would always play that Gone with the Wind sample and then kick into our song Tease. So we're
this one.
Yeah, this song here. So we just took the Clever Parrot and put it before Tease on the album.
Yeah, well, because we wanted to get the record done too, and we only had 9 songs. That's the sad fact.
And yeah, we were like, we have 9 songs. An album should be 10.
It needs to be 10.
We're like, oh, that thing we do live. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
I remember being in your living room. I think Pete.
It was Bob.
Was it Bob?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember like we were like messing around and there was like we had this like riff we were jamming on, the 3 of us.
See, if you notice the 2 hit.
Yeah. Yeah. And but I want to say that like that part wasn't my idea. I want to say originally the guitars and the verse, because it's like we didn't have verses and chorus, we just had like 2 riffs we were jamming on, and it was like the verse riff and the chorus riff.
Right.
And I want to say like I didn't really have anything, but the bass kind of went and this kind of we were listening to a lot of like Eagles of Death Metal at the time, and this song kind of like has that sound to me, or like I can hear the influence.
They had a few good songs, and like they don't have really good like anything that intrigues me anymore anyway.
Yeah, but I remember like hearing it, and I was like, God, it's like so, like it wasn't grungy. It was just kind of like dirty and sloppy, but it was tight at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, I really love this band.
Yeah. So that's kind of where you get like that weird like sloppy and dirty but tight. feel out of
Yeah,
the
like
song.
we were like, we want it to feel tight, but we want it to like.
The guitars are very
like,
scratchy.
And scratchy and buzzy and noisy and
But yeah, this one was written like, man, it must have been 2 or 3
years before.
No, 2.5 years. It would have been 2.5 years.
Right? I want to say it was this one and Stupid Brother were like the oldest ones.
Yeah.
And actually, Queen was technically the oldest.
Technically old, yeah. Yeah, because you had the concept for that one.
That one was going to go on Gaudy Monstrosity, and it just didn't.
It didn't fit.
Didn't fit.
Yeah. And I'm glad we didn't, but we'll get to that here in a minute.
Yeah, I think we definitely like came a long way, and the song definitely turned out better being on this record instead of on the other.
Funny fact, the bell of the ride cymbal that you hear on the record, I'm doing it on the full take, right? But you couldn't hear it on the actual recording, so I had to go back and re-mic it and then overdub it.
And just hit the bell.
And just hit the bell and overdub it.
Well, was this the album, or was it Aftermath, where we would like reinforce with one shots?
It was this one.
It was this one.
Yeah.
I remember like, because it was hybrid, we would, I think, some of the songs we would just put microphones in the room and you would play, and like we didn't like mic up the individual drums. It was just like we just want the way the drums sound sitting in this room.
We did that for Got It, but that was it. All of the rest of them had.
The rest were isolated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember it was like we were trying different things, and I had these pretty, at the time they were like top quality one-shot samples of drums, and now they're probably crap compared to like what's out now. But at the time we were like, wow, those were recorded really well. Like whoever did the one-shots for them. So I remember you would give me your drum tracks, and then like I'd be up late at night and I'd be like watching the snare line on the DAW. And I'd be like, all right, he hit that one hard. Here's my hard snare sample. And he hit that one medium. Here's my medium one.
Right.
And I copy and paste, and I had like a little bay of like snare hits and kick hits and tom hits, and I would like sit and watch what you did.
I'm so glad you did that shit, because like I remember, dude, because this is back when I would obsess. I still obsess over mixes, but like not as much as I used to. I was sitting there and like editing everything and mixing it all, and I would not have been able to handle doing all of the replacement shit as well.
Well, and
because like we didn't have the ideal setup, man. Like we were using like kind of crummy mics. Like the rooms were not treated rooms.
Well, and we wanted to have this kind of an electronic feel too on top of it, and the electronic drums that we had at the time, like they just didn't sound that great. So we were still doing like acoustic drum recordings, and that was like the way we could achieve that sound, where we're like, it has this rock feel, but it has this electronic feel too.
Yeah.
And I remember like it was just like late at night, and I'd pour myself a drink and be like, all right, here we go.
Here we go.
Be like, just see what the computer says, and just replicate it.
Steve here says, how about a Gotti remix with all your new equipment and capabilities? Maybe.
We were going to.
We thought
we were
about
going to
something.
do that. Actually, I think it was on Existential Threat. We were going to bring back one of them.
Yeah, but it did not work, because it's like the way the
just
song
didn't sound
is.
right. Yeah. I mean, it turned
almost
out
forgot
pretty
we had
good.
that.
I remember it sounded
It
good.
just doesn't sound like.
It doesn't belong on that album.
No. Yeah.
But I remember when we did it, I was like, I wanted it to sound this way.
Right.
Back then.
Yeah. Said, oh, I forgot to tell y'all, Nancy says, hey, and she loves y'all. She's on a plane on her way back from Philadelphia. She'll be home around 9:30 p.m. So, if y'all want to make the 3-hour block, that'd be cool.
I don't know. We're like halfway through the album.
Nah,
already.
man. Like, I told you I'm sleepy. Damn it, man. I'm sleepy. All right. Next song is Hunting Grounds, which is like, I have a lot of fond memories recording this, writing this, and just playing it.
Well, I remember you were just singing the na 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 part.
Yeah.
I remember like I like came over to your house and you were like na 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 na.
Yeah.
Na 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 na. And I was like, what is that? And you're like, I don't know. Just hum it.
Yeah,
And you're like, can you play that on guitar? And I was like, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I remember like got out a guitar and I was like, how does it go? And you're like, na 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 na. And we're like, well, that's really cool. And I think that's all we had for a while. But we're like, but that's a cool riff.
Yeah.
And you're like, just take it home. And I think I like wrote a verse and was like, I think this fits with it. And you're like, yeah, that's cool. Let's just we'll come back to it. And then I remember we were on the road, and it was like after a show, late in a hotel room.
In Augusta.
Was it in Augusta?
Yeah.
Is that where we were?
Yeah.
And I remember sitting on the bed. You were on the other bed, and I had the notebook, and like someone said, "I can run my I can run my sound like a daisy chain."
That was at the show. Somebody said something like that to you.
Because we were like, was it the speaker setup? We're like, oh, we need to like
chain them together.
We were chaining off the mains into the monitor because the monitor send broke at the venue.
It was something weird. You run it like a daisy chain.
And they were like, hey, you just run your sound like a daisy chain. And we're like, I don't run my sound like a daisy chain. And they were like, fuck yeah. And so we're like, write that down. And then I just remember after we had written that down, it was like, smoke a J in the eye of a hurricane. And it was just back and forth like
time.
On that kind of rhyme.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like everyone was better than the next one, right? I feel like I can pull the pin on the heart like a hand grenade. They were like, yeah. We probably like woke up the people next to us.
Totally.
It was like 4:00 in the morning, and we're like, oh my god, that's awesome.
And then when it came to recording it, I mean, like being able to do all those funny ass like Muppet voices was so fun. Like I just love doing that.
Yeah, and like we still kind of do that sometimes.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
But it was
you can hear it if you hear any of that.
We were doing the background vocals, and it was always like we never had a crazy approach to background vocals. It was usually like just do some background vocals,
right?
And we'll see what sounds good, and be like, well, now just do some more, just do something different, do something lower, and like. Right. So I know like when we produce our background vocals, it's like. Background vocals.
I like it when we name them.
Low background vocals, like high background vocals.
Tell me who Frank is. Let them know who Frank is. Who's Frank, Kyle?
Which one is Frank?
Frank? You know Frank.
Was Frank the one that can't sing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's the old man.
Yeah. But he's like so passionate.
So yeah, I remember we came up with these characters because we're like we need 6 or 7 or 8. I can't remember how many there were. However, like makes that crowd sound in the background.
Right, yeah.
And we remember where it was like, okay, you need to have this guy, and like we have Frank, and we're like, Frank was the guy that like we need to have 7 people, and his dad has a cool garage,
right?
But he can't sing.
But he can't sing.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, but everybody loves him. We're like, come on in here. It's like no.
Yeah.
And then we're like, we need to have one that like. You need to have like an Elmo in the group, like the cute little one that sings really high, and then,
dude, I remember like I tried
guy that sings real hoarse and like.
I tried to like, cause I recently did background vocals for some recordings on the new Becoming the Archetype record, and I was in the studio with them helping out, and they wanted me to help do some of the background vocals in it. I think I got credited. I'm not 100%, but I think they actually credited me.
You show me that.
I don't know if they credited me or if they just accredited me from. Maybe it was me from the studio or something.
Right.
But I was trying to explain to them like you got to have different characters. So I was like, they probably thought I was insane. They thought I was like this crazy son of a bitch. I'm like, no, man. I'm like Mexican man. I learned English, but it's not really well. But honestly, like I don't really speak Spanish that well either. So ready to take 2. And like I still do it, and like, I roll my R's and shit.
Yeah,
like, they're like,
you give character a backstory.
Yeah, they're like, we'll probably cut that. And I'm like, no, you won't. Trust me. And then we'll just start doing other ones, and I'm like, I'm this chick from Boston. So I'm like, so I got to figure out how a girl sounds with a Boston accent.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, you just go like. It's totally random, and you're like, I'm creating this group of people, and they're all friends, and they're all singing together in this room.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's good. All right, next one we've got here, we've got a few more, is Do It All Night, which, this is like the one, we always end up having like a song that's kind of like this, where it's like.
Kind of country.
It's weird, because it doesn't.
But we're
not country.
But we're Georgia boys, you know what I mean? Like everybody around us is like listening to country.
Wait, I think it missed the line, but I remember for like the longest time, like while I was mixing, because I had to listen to these forever. It sounded like Kyle said.
I heard she's trouble.
It said I'm Hershey Trouble.
Hershey Trouble.
Like I'm chocolate trouble. And like
you're like, what's that line? I was like, no, I heard that she's trouble.
Yeah, I was like, I thought you
just
said,
saying it quickly.
I thought you said I'm Hershey Trouble. But yeah, it's weird. It took us a little while to get this one to be correct live.
I remember we were like, let's put a harp in it. It was like we were trying to like make this song really weird.
Yeah.
And then I think it was just like, no, it's just like.
Wait, if you notice during the verse, it's like.
It's like, yeah, it's nothing.
It's like a guitar.
It was like clean tremolo kind of country twang guitar, and then you stomp your stomp box in the chorus, and that's it, you know. And that, like, I'm glad we made that decision. I remember we were like, we're gonna put all these weird synths in it and do all this weird stuff to it, and we're like, no, just keep it really simple.
Yeah, it turned out all right. Turns out I really like the song. You know, again, it's like there's like these weird elements. I've been doing this. We've been doing this for 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to pinpoint all these different things that we do. It's like that thing, like there's like always one song that's kind of like this vibe that ends up on a record. And I don't know why, but it just does. Because like it's not even like it's country. It's weird. It's like gospel country.
Yeah. Well, like I came from like a gospel background.
Yeah.
So it kind of pokes out every once in a while, but yeah, there's something
what it
about
does.
it. It's like it's just such a simple song.
It's like gospel.
Right.
And it just pokes out every.
Right. Like our new song that came out this year.
Yeah.
I don't really remember much about this guitar solo. I remember it was just like.
I don't even know if like you wrote it. I think we recorded it.
It was like.
I feel like we recorded it, and it was some takes, and you're like, oh yeah, that one.
That's right. I think you are right. We're like, we didn't write a solo. It was just like, just play some lead.
Yeah, it was with Manny's guitar.
Yeah, and it was like, that's the take. We'll use that one.
Yeah.
We really like learn that one.
Well, that's why like during the verses, there's like no bass needed, because it's like with that old school Gibson, it's so thick. It kind of filled the spot.
Oh yeah, I think we did a bass.
Bass
in
during
the
chorus.
Yeah, but there's no synth or bass or anything.
Yeah, that's a song.
I think wasn't the phrase looping when we would do it live was like it was just triggering in bass.
Triggering on the chorus.
In the chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
It was like very simple.
All right, next song is Queen. Now, my recollection, I remember you showed me this song back in the day when we were doing Gotti, and you'd be like, I don't think so.
Well, I remember like I wanted like horns in it.
Yeah.
And wanted to have like almost like this big band vibe.
Right.
And like, so we were like, well, just kind of rock out on it and see and make it fit with the other song, and it just did not fit, and like couldn't figure out what to do with it. And I remember it had like, it was not these guitar parts even. It was like, it was very different. And I don't know like what bands I was listening to at the time, but it was just like, it just did not sound like this at all.
Right.
But it, like
just
the lyrics
make sure you speak up so it goes over the music.
But yeah, I remember I wrote the song like I was still living up north, and I think was like in college and met this girl and thought she was a queen, thought she was awesome, you know, and just kind of put it on the back burner for a long time. And I don't think like, even before I met you, I remember like I would go play solo gigs and make CDs with end tracks, and then I would burn them on like Windows CD burner thing laptop, and I'm like, this wasn't even on any of those because it was just like, I don't know what to do with that song. It needs production, and I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And
but I'm glad we were able to get a chance, because like this was me getting really like into synths.
Yeah. Like
so all the weird, the wham wham,
and all the wheel work. Like the wheel work is cool. I love the wheel work.
A lot of weird, crazy stuff. So like, this song allowed me to really dive deep into synthesizers, how they work, how they operate. I had no idea before that.
Yeah,
I really
it filled that spot of like, this needs like guys in the background doing something, and we're like, there's just two of us. What the fuck are we gonna do?
Yeah, because we were so scared about all those kinds of things. Like we wanted to make sure any of the things that wasn't me and him, it was things that we were producing were kind of like lower, but then we would push it, and like this one kind of pushed it. Yeah. Where you could actually hear the
you could tell there's stuff going on. Yeah, that we're not. That's not guitar and not drums.
Yeah.
I remember a buddy of mine told me, like, when you're writing guitar solos, he's like, just have your guitar sing the melody, and then do like the little tricks you learned when you were a kid of like, oh, I can do this little riff in between. And I remember this one kind of like, baby, baby.
Well, I remember when we produced it too. Like you were kind of scared because you're like, I can't play that solo and sing at the same time. You do that like with a lot of songs. You'll be like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And then we're like, no, it sounds good though. You're gonna do it.
Well, I remember.
And then he does it.
I remember Nectar Kiss was that way. I was like, I don't think I can like walk and chew gum at the same time. I don't know if I can play that riff and sing this line. And
I know.
You get used to it.
It's like people ask me like why I don't sing as much often like live. I'm like,
I'm doing all this
stuff freaking busy, man. Like I'm so busy. I don't have time to do all that crap.
That usually happens.
Twinsies.
That usually happens every album where I'm like, I don't know if I can play this live.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I remember like on our newest record, Panic was like that. I was like, I don't know.
I still can't play that song live because Kyle's like, we're not gonna play it in the first set. Let's just play it in the second set, which is like the hardest footwork you have to do. I was like, we're gonna do it in the second set. How's that feel? After you've been playing for 2 hours already, let's go ahead and do it there.
The rhythm, it's like there's a lot of like everything's doing its own thing.
Yeah.
You know, and but it's one of those things. Is you just practice it. And you learn like what word falls on what stroke.
Yeah.
Or I guess in your case, like what I can't play.
It's called strokes.
I can't play drums at all. So
They're called
I don't know
strokes.
if you're like
stroke.
Yeah.
Stroke.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, does it look okay out there? Can you guys let us know in the comments? Does it look okay? Again, we changed the settings. We've had no dips, but it's like lower kilobytes per second.
Mm-hmm.
And also, can you hear us okay? Is everything all right? Mm-hmm. We got one more left here. I just want to make sure everything's good. I know.
Because then we'll just keep these settings.
Yeah, because we'll keep these settings and then we'll run with it. Because I feel like it's doing better.
Well, and the CPU's not working as hard either. It's like
looks delicious. Does it sound okay? Everything sounds good.
Looks delicious and sounds like a dream.
Sounds like a dream. Looks great. Sounds great. Awesome. All right. Awesome. All right. Here we go. Here's the last song on the record.
I remember this little intro was we like do jams sometimes in our live shows, and I remember we would jam on this little like beat or whatever it was. I don't remember where that beat came from.
I made it.
I don't if it was like one that you had.
I made it for this.
But it was before it was before the song was written, wasn't it? Well,
I think you're thinking about a different.
We had something.
Yeah.
And it was like, so I guess this beat was for this song. But I remember we had a beat. It was like kind of like that. It was like some older thing that you had, or maybe it was stock on like the old SPDS or something. But I remember we would jam on it at the end of a show, and we would riff. I remember I would riff the Rattlesnake riff, and we would just jam on it for a while, and then we're like, hey, we should make that into a song.
Yeah, Rattlesnake was a jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
which is funny because now, like every time at the end of Rattlesnake Live, we jam.
Yeah.
Well, except for last time because my wrist is dumb.
But yeah, a lot of times like we'll do a jam after Rattlesnake because it was written like when we would just jam at a show, we're like make something up, you know, and like throw like a little drum loop on it and then play drums on it, and then I'll just kind of riff around.
Right.
And so I remember that kind of.
I love that with organ.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, like this has that vibe too. Like we end up having a song kind of like this on every record too. It's kind of weird with organs. Find them. Tell us the song for organs. But yeah, there's an old video somewhere. I remember seeing somebody shot it of us live at a place called Monkey Barrel. Remember that wedding group that came in, and they were up on the tables dancing, and they were getting all crazy.
That got really rowdy. I remember that night.
And we were playing this, and the owner kept telling us to keep it up, keep doing the same thing, play covers.
He was like, keep playing more covers, and so we just kept playing originals. And he was like, yeah, just like that. You just keep doing those. I love all these songs.
Yeah.
These songs remind me of being in high school or whatever. And we're like, he has no idea. These are songs we wrote.
They don't even sound like other songs. I don't know. Do they? Is there a song that sounds like this? If somebody, please.
I think he was just having a good time. He had too much to drink.
Maybe he was wasted.
And the bar was packed. So we were just like, yeah, just keep doing that.
Having a good time. Yeah. That was back in the day too. We had to go drive around to get gigs. We had to drive and then walk in.
I remember we walked in, and I think we had a notebook.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, can we talk to the owner? We're in a band. And he like looks at us and he's like, you're hired.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, let me go get my book. He gave me his book, and he's like, how about, I got something in 7 weeks on Friday. He's like, hopefully y'all sound good. And we're like, okay, cool.
Okay,
we're like,
cool,
we're like, we got the gig, and I think like settled, and it was like a decent price too. And we're just like, he's never heard our music before.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, cool.
It was really bad. I remember there was because they were the crowd was so wasted, they would get up on stage, and I had to push some of them back. People were they were so drunk, grabbing at the cymbals and stuff, and I'm smacking their hands with my drumsticks.
We're like, you're gonna get hurt too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a rowdy time. I remember that show.
That's one of the ones we still do live. Out of these, what do? We do Hunting Grounds, Rattlesnake.
Sometimes MF Cannon.
Sometimes we do MF Cannon.
Those are ones I definitely remember how to play.
And that's it. That's the ones we do live still. But it's fun to listen to this record, man. Mm-hmm. Because it's a little weird. Because again, I've always anybody that makes stuff, they're gonna beat themselves up.
Well,
about how
you listen to stuff that's 10 years old, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, oh my god, just the cover stuff we've been doing. I'm like, I wish it just sounded like that. Mm-hmm. And that stuff's fast produced. We're doing that once a month.
Yeah, it goes from learning the song to having it out.
But these were literally produced for a year. Mm. A year's worth of work.
Yeah, it makes you be like, well, why are you taking yourself so seriously?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it, get it done with. Yeah. Me and Anton were talking about that last night some too.
He gave me a call, and I was just busy all day yesterday, so I got to give him a call.
Yeah. By the way, if you're watching this, Anton, we love you.
Yeah.
You're a good dude. I think we always touch base once or twice, maybe a year. Mm-hmm. Sometimes 3 times. A lady.
Not 3 times a lady.
3 times a lady. But yeah, love that guy. Anyway, real quick before we get to our final thoughts, we want to remind everybody that we still got merchandise. Look at those freaking tank tops. Mm-hmm. Show off your guns, man. Over there at storefrontier.com/Roshambeaux. We've got all kinds of sizes, designs, cuts, tees, and
you better get these tanks soon, because they're going to go away. The weather's going to get cold.
Yeah.
You're going to be wanting hoodies and baseball tees.
But you're going to want to make sure you have a tank for when you're just laying around at home.
You get the fire going, and you're like, God, it's hot in here.
Yeah. I need my tank top.
Have a tank top all year long. So
go check it out. Go do it. What's your final thoughts, Kyle? What is it?
This record.
All right, let me tell you about my final thoughts. I'm just kidding.
No, go ahead. No. You got some. It was a lot of fun to make. I remember we hadn't quite found our sound yet, but it was it's in this record.
Right.
It's not every song on this record was our sound, but our sound is on this record.
Yeah, it's on there.
How I feel about it.
Yeah, it's we found it and then went again. We'll be doing this again, and we'll be listening to the next record, Aftermath, and you'll see. Yeah. Once you pinpoint those songs, because again, Nitric Kiss being from the first one, and then you hit this one, and it's we finally got that one, because this is the way Nitric Kiss was supposed to be on the last one, but it wasn't that because we didn't have the technology back then.
Well, yeah, and a lot I remember we talked about it a little bit, but all of the tech we used was just weirdly pieced together. I remember your drums. You had to build them because
the kick drum is still built
because the electronic drums that we had at the time just weren't right.
Yeah, they weren't what we needed.
And we had to record your acoustic kit and then find a way to convert that electronically live and then be able to record it. And I know. Yeah, guitars. I was doing amp modeling, but I would still run it through an analog amp because like it just didn't sound good unless it was like a big old amp that was mic'd up.
Right, because the technology wasn't there yet.
And then kind of through the years and like through our albums, you kind of see like the technology got a little bit better, and it was like, oh yeah, that's how I wanted it to sound. I wanted it to sound like that, and
wanted to sound like that.
Yeah,
that is the thing.
But all that being said, like I love this record. It's a lot of fun, and we still play songs from this record.
It's trash. It's complete trash. It's garbage. It's cabbage.
It is funny though.
It's your mom's cabbage.
The live though is playing some of the old stuff and how it translates into the live show. Like, it seems like it was a lot more work to make it work than now, where you're like, oh, it just works.
yeah. Whenever I'm done with like all the stuff, it's like, yep.
You're like, oh, we can play this live and it just works. So, like, you don't have to like sit and like just have a nightmare about something.
Well, because our process changed, man. That's the biggest thing. Is like now when we do guitar settings for the record, they're saved.
Yeah,
like they're already saved after it's recorded, so like we don't have to go back and try to match them.
Yeah, because what I play live is what I record.
Right.
And there's not like, well, I used this gear in the studio and I used this gear live, and hopefully it kind of sounds the same. And,
right. Now that's the next step, I suppose, with the drums, because like the new way I do drums aren't quite the same drum sounds that I use live. They're very close.
Are you doing sublayering now, or do we like?
I'm doing sublayering, but not the sublayering with the stuff from the record, because it doesn't quite.
Because it doesn't quite yeah. So like maybe in a couple of years, then it. Like,
but it doesn't transfer. It doesn't like translate live. It's weird. Like as soon as you play those sounds on a live rig, you're like, oh, that's not right.
Not without running another computer, I guess.
Yeah.
Like maybe if we ran another computer, we could probably do it, but.
Right, and then I'd have to actually use.
You have to like run a DAW live. I'm like, what are you doing?
I don't want to do that.
What are you doing? I'm like, there's just two of us.
Yeah, like, it's too much. I can't believe it was 9 years ago. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
So I can't believe my phone's going off. Sitting here. But yeah, it's just crazy. 9 years. Where we were. The moods and emotions that were expressed here, you can obviously tell, like, it's not really a sad song on here. For sure. We were young and we were ambitious about being in a band and playing music and excited about how we felt, how the music made us feel.
I remember, like, every time we would send press releases, we're like, it's a rowdy, loud, sweaty show.
Yeah.
And, like, and that was, like, what you would send people. You're like, it's loud and rowdy, and that's all we do. You know? And and then it like our albums were written that way. Where like every song's a party, you know.
Right. Everything's that's what it's all about, you know. And I don't know. I don't have any regrets about it. It's funny. I thought that I was gonna listen to this and be like,
it sucks.
I'm so sorry. I'm letting you guys listen to this. All right, you know. But you know, I'm proud of what we did. I mean, this is the beginning, really, of. Really us finding our sound.
And us like writing together too. Yeah. This was our first time writing stuff together and putting it out.
It's a whole thing. Minus that one song on the first record.
Oh yeah, Moneymaker we wrote together.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
from conception we like conceptualized it together.
Yeah, but besides that, it was literally like the first one was just like I had a CD of Kyle playing the song,
singer-songwriter song,
and I'm like, okay, and I took those and I'm like, okay, how does it go? Okay,
we'll make them rock songs.
Okay, you know, and that was kind of the idea. But that was for us to meet and me to show him, because I didn't want to step on his toes. I didn't know if he's one of those guys, you know. If you ever play music,
you're like, this is my baby,
and
you're spitting on my baby.
Yeah, people like that, man. I mean, I've been in so many bands, dude, like where I'd like write something, they'd be like, this is garbage. You know, and this is not, you know, so I just, anyway.
No, I was glad, because I was like, that was all I was doing, was like, I can do like these singer-songwriter gigs with an acoustic guitar.
And that's how we met.
And a junky PA.
Yeah.
And I was like, I loved producing stuff in the studio, so I invested in gear that I could afford at the time, but it wasn't much. And I was like, man, like one day, like, I'm going to be able to like, produce stuff and have someone there too that like will like put their ideas on it, you know, and not just like, it's not just this acoustic guitar and my voice kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And so I was excited.
Right. So bottom line, I'm grateful as shit to be able to play music with this guy.
And I'm grateful as shit to play music with this guy.
He's a liar. Because I'm an asshole.
But you're my asshole.
All right. Before we wrap this up, let's go over to here where we remind you guys to go check out patreon.com/Roshambeaux. Even for as little as $1. Goes a long way. You get a shout out. Mm-hmm. But we just released the most current cover song. There's a trailer here on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube, which, yes, you are, because it's the only place it's at. Mm-hmm. So there is a trailer on our channel for the latest song we did, a cover of Verb from Schoolhouse Rock. Mm-hmm. Really excited with how it turned out. It took us a little bit longer because we were doing special edits and cool things. Mm-hmm. But I'm really pumped about it. But if you like the content that we do, you like what we're doing, you like us being here, doing this thing, you want to see us continue to do this thing.
And play live and write albums and do cover songs once a month.
Because, I mean, dude, the landscape of musicians is so different than it used to be, man. There's so many bands, there's so many this, that, and the other. And think of the percentage that it takes, you know? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that one day it might get picked up and we'll have people working on it to do that, but to expect that, like, I just want to play music for you guys, and I want to create content for you guys, and I want to be able to hang out and put smiles on your faces and create. Mm-hmm. And to not have to stop creating, because, like, once you stop creating, man, you might as well die.
Yeah, it seems like there's something to it. It's like you're supposed to create something. Yeah. And I don't know if everybody feels that way, but I've always felt that way, where, like, you got to get up and make something. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be music, it can be something else, but, like, having that thing, that voice inside of you, or, like, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, like, for me, it's there. And it's just get up and make something,
Right.
So
get up and do it. Yeah, go check it out. But I think that's going to do it for us, man. I hope you guys enjoyed our little walk down memory lane. Hopefully everything held up on the video end. Kyle will probably review it when you start do all the clips.
I'll make some little clips for social media and stuff.
Hopefully a little walk down memory lane. You guys enjoyed it. I know I did.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was good.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But we are going to be having another show on the 10th of September in Dahlonega again in the parking lot. Yeah. They wanted us again pretty quickly. I don't know. We normally don't do that, but
we're doing it. We're doing it. It was fun.
It was fun.
We're doing it again. And because that other one just happened. So that will get announced on the page next week. And there'll be some other shows that are announced next week as well. So make sure you go to our website and check it out next week. And we'll have some more dates.
You can check it out. You can scratch it out. Mm-hmm. You can mark it out. Yeah. I guess don't really mark it out, though.
No. You can subscribe to, it's Bandzoogle. Yeah. No, not Bandzoogle.
No, that's not
Bands in Town.
Bands in Town.
Bands in Town.
Yeah. Our page on Bands in Town.
Yeah, and that will, like, give you little alerts anytime we announce. You can also
go to Roshambeaux.com. Sign up to the mailing list.
Sign up for the mailing list. The mailing list is really the best way. Yeah. Because every week we put out what we're doing.
Yeah, we do, like, our blogs, like what we're up to, and
when there's always new music coming out. Yeah. When we do these podcasts, when there's new shows. So, like, go, and you get a free download. You get a free download when you sign up.
What, Kyle? You're telling me that there's free music for people who sign up for this?
You get free music just for being like, I want to know what you guys are up to.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you don't have to worry about, like, social media algorithms.
Right, yeah.
The whole thing, like, am I getting shown the content that I want to see, or is it learning about all the things that I don't like and showing me that first, so that way I spend more time on there, and then I can watch more Tide commercials.
Right.
Like, that's kind of how that stuff works.
Yeah.
So there's no ads, and there's no like menacing algorithm. It's just an email that you get. Just
menacing algorithm.
Right from us.
Right.
That should be a band. The menacing algorithm.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We
come up with all these awesome band names.
Yeah.
And that's probably easier to spell.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not.
True.
I mean, algorithm.
Algorithm.
What? Maroon 5 is the best band name ever.
People think we're like algorithm or something. Anyway,
it's like really simple.
We love you guys. We will see you soon. We won't be doing a vlog. Just a reminder, we're not doing a vlog next week. We will be doing the one after, because we're doing it every other week. So tune in for that. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about. But until then, we love you guys.